Hello everyone, and welcome to Sunday Slow Stitch with Rita. I was missing last week, or maybe 2 weeks, I'm not sure. I just didn't get around to doing much stitching, so I didn't have anything to share. But I'm working, this is the Just Because quilt. I have decided to make bags with these blocks because I don't know that I could continue going on making 12 blocks for the year. So this is kind of like a half a year project, but I think they're going to be fun. So this one here, I've already sewn together. I've put handles on it. This is some fabric I got from a bed duvet. I think it's like a Waverly design or something. And I quilted that by hand. And then, of course, all this is all sewn on by hand. And then I made the pouch. I'm gonna call it a market bag. I made this with the sewing machine, and it's completely lined, and it's actually reversible. If I can show you. Come on. So there's the other, that's the inside, so it can be reversible as well. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to show you how to make the bag. I don't know if you need this instruction or not, but it's kind of like where I've got to go because I'm not actually stitching on anything in particular. But I do want to get these bags made, and then I think I may put them for sale on my website. So if you're a slow stitcher, you may not even want one, but I thought they were kind of cool for a market bag, you know. It would definitely be noticeable when you go to the market. So let me show you what I did. So because all my blocks were different size, that's kind of what started this, because I don't think they were going to match together as I had planned in the beginning. I should have used Corinne's plan, where she put them all together and combined them, laying fabrics over the top. But I just thought I was smarter than that. Not really. I just thought, oh no, that's not how I would put a quilt together. I will make blocks and I'll sew those blocks together, but they didn't come out the same size because I've never made a quilt that I hand stitched everything on it, so the sizes really never changed. Okay, so anyway, this is one that needs to have a backing and a lining. This piece was a napkin that I had a set of 4 of these. And this one has that on the background, that napkin. So I thought I would just put this on the back of this panel here. So all I have to do is, I want to make sure I get this thick part cut off, because, let me get a pin here just to hold it in place. Come on, pins, where are you? So I'm just going to cut around this. And if you're making them, you've got to make your backing piece a little larger to cut down, or if you do it the exact same size, it would probably be okay. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to measure this in a minute so you can see how big this is. So this across here, that was in centimeters, across here is 17.5. So I'm going to cut my backing 17.5 as well. And then this way it's 16. So I like to use the wider part from which would be the top and the bottom. This part can go in a little bit because I'm going to stitch it end together. Okay, so that's the first thing you need. You just need a front and a back. You may not have to put a layer of batting on the back piece if you don't want, but I think it looks better that way, unless you know you have really thick fabric or something, upholstery or something like that. I also will try to find the link to the video that I found. This has been years ago. I've been using the same pattern or the way of making a bag for all these years. I could have done this before, but I thought I'd just go ahead and do it on camera. So I'm going to, I hope I'm in camera, because always it seems like everything is too big when I work on it. Okay. So I don't think I'll be using that. It's kind of too small for anything. Okay, so now we have our front and our back. And I got to keep remembering which way I want to go with it. Okay, so now I'm going to cut my lining for this. So I'm just going to move this out of the way for a minute. And let's see, I don't need this here anymore. And here's my lining. I decided to use this red ticking type fabric. So I think maybe I need to rip that off so we have a nice straight edge at the top. See, it wasn't very straight. Straighter grain anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna lay this out and lay this on top of it and just do the same thing. I have two layers. And of course, if you have a stripe or something, you got to make sure that your diagonal lines are going up and down. Or if you want them sideways, you can do that too, but generally up and down. And then if it's an overall flower design, you don't have to do that. Okay, I'm just going to come across and cut this here. I could have ripped it, but the top is straight, so I'm not worried about it. Okay. So all of these are the same size, and when I sew them in, I'm going to sew probably like a 1/2 inch, but though it'll all be lined up even. Or you can measure it all out and use your rotor cutter or whatever if you want it better. You're not going to see this edge anyway. Okay. I think I'm going to leave this up here for a while. I mean, I'll probably trim it off, but this I may, I think I need to fold that in. What did I do on this one? Yeah, I think I folded this down like so. But I'll show you when I get to that part. And then this one would go like that, so it would be a finished edge. So I could have left this a little bit longer. But that's okay, it's fine. Because the sizes are all going to be different. So now I need to pause. Oh, come on. It's better not to pin them shut. Huh? So now you have to decide also that what you want up on your front of your bag, what you want it to look like. So now we're going to take the right sides, the pretty sides, and put them back to back. And they should fit. And let's see. Okay, so if this is the top, then this will be up here on this side. And this one is going different directions, so it doesn't really matter. So I hope everybody had a good week last week and all your stormy weather is over. I'm not going to stitch this top, so you don't need to go across that top part. Okay. Just that little bit of cutting I did already, it's already shifting. It's one thing about quilted fabric, it likes to shift. Okay, where's my, I guess all my straight pins. Get over to another section because I take it over to sew it and all the pins are over on the other chair, my sewing chair. All right, I'm just gonna pretend. So I'm gonna sew all the way around here, here, and here. And that will give our first pocket. Then on this one, I'm going to do the same thing. So this is my top up here. Probably don't even need to pin this because it's not gonna move on me. So I will sew around this this side, these three sides. About a 1/2 inch I'll go in. It doesn't really matter if you don't have enough fabric. Oh, this is the wrong way. This needs to be, this one needs to be right sides together, pretty sides together, and then sew it. So when you turn it inside out, you'll have the right stuff poking out, showing. I'm not very good explaining this kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to pause. I'm going to sew around these, and then we'll come back. So also, at the same time, these were already cut. And I coffee dyed this fabric. So these are, how long is that? 21 inches by, I think it's 3. Yes. So you want 2 pieces around 21 inches by 3. And that makes for the short handles like this. And I love the short handles because it just seems, if you have the long handles and you have something heavy in this bag, it just kills you, and it keeps wanting to fall off and fall off. And this, you grab it with your hand, and you can grab 2 or 3 bags with one hand, and and hold everything. It's just, I found it easier when I use my bags. So then this one here, we're going to sew this in half down here and turn it inside out. And that will be our handle. So I'll put you on pause and I'll get these sewed, and maybe I'll sew these too so I won't be away so long. Okay, so hold on. Okay, I'm back. So what I've done is sewed around the 3 sides, this being the top up here. That's the one with the quilt part. Then I did the same thing for the lining. I went around the 3 sides. And then I actually ironed this down about a ½ inch, maybe it's 3/4 of an inch, I don't know. You can do it whatever you like. Actually, it's an inch. How about that? Well, somewhere around an inch. I'm just not as precise as I used to be. It's not worth it, I guess. Okay, so next we're going to box the corners off. And so in order to do that, I usually try to put seam to seam here, okay, and then scoot everything down. I'm sorry, just like that. It's hard to, you can't really match it up, but you try to get your seams lined up the best you can. And this is just being fussy. Hold on, let me get my finger in there and make a point. Okay, so then depending on how tall you want your bag, so if you go in this much, cut off this much, you know, your bag is going to be that deep and so wide. If you just want a little bit because you want a taller bag, then you would just cut off a little bit. And I don't know, it just, each bag I do is different. It doesn't, I just want to make sure they're kind of even on both sides. Okay, so there, I'm going to take my ruler and let's see, I think I'll do like 2.5. So here's 1, 2.5, and then you bring that down to, let's see, that's 3. Okay, there's 2.5 at the point. Okay, then you take this and you move it over so that this line, your 45-degree angle line, is lined up on this side. That will make this side even. If you don't do that, you almost will have a problem, you know. So I'm just going to mark that so I have my sewing line, and I'll put a straight pin in there to hold that one. And then we'll do the other side. You could press these open. I just don't have my iron and everything in here. It's in the other room. It might be easier if you want to press it. Gosh. Well, what's the deal? I guess it's the seam that's throwing me off. Okay, so see that seam I can see up there. You probably can't see it. All right, so 2.5 is on this line. So there's 1. It's about 2.5 right there, I think, on this dot. I'm sure that's about it. 2.5. Yeah, because here's the 1/2 inch right there. Okay. My eyes are going everywhere on this ruler. I don't care for this one too much. But it was there. It's handy. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then I need to do this one, but I don't know if I want to take this much time. So on this one, I just folded down the edges. And when we sew the lining in, we'll be sewing this all down at one time. Okay, so these have to be the same size as the lining. So you just to get that kind of lined up. Okay, and then I thought I had, oh, there it is. I was going to say I had a smaller ruler. All right, so now on this one, we'll go 1, 2.5. That looks like more. I mean, it looks actually shorter. 1, 2.5. All right, and make sure it's on the line. That way you know you've got. I don't know how many times I've sewed these together and then they're all come out wrong because they're lopsided. Okay. Do the same for this one. Two and a half. Okay, doke. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew across these. I'm just going to do one right now, and then I'll stop the video and come back and show you. I mean, I actually have my machine right here, so I'm going to do it really quick. And then if I can keep it up here. This is not usually where I have my sew machine. You will have to kind of like work it over that bump. My machine is actually pretty good. I have a Janome 7330. If anybody wants to know, I don't think they make them anymore. This style. Just bought my granddaughter one. Gosh, I can't remember what the number was, but it's like the 250 range. This one was a lot more, but the one I got my granddaughter was like 250. But my needle threader won't work anymore, and I put a new one on, and it still can't get it to. It's not catching. Okay, so now we have these two sewed like that. And I leave these in because I like it where it gives that sturdiness at the bottom of your bag. I think it's just makes more sense to leave them, but you don't have to. You can cut them across. See, there's the one box section, and There's the other one. Get these poked out nice. And you may want to take it and iron them down. These are, you know, they're pretty thick. Okay, so basically there's our bag. And now all we have to do is put the handles on and the lining inside. So the lining is gonna, once I sew those there, then the lining is going to be stuffed in here, and it's going to be wrong sides together. So when you put it down in there, this will be on that side, and everything will be finished at the top. And your handles will be sewn in at the same time. All right, so I'm going to stop here and sew the rest of those things, and then I'll probably come back. And I think I could just explain how to put the handles in once I get them made. Or maybe I'll show you. Maybe I'll sew them and then show you how I make the handles. Okay? So, yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, I'm back. It's been a week or two since I came back. But, I'm going to show you now what I did with the straps, how to make the straps. I think I left off at the edge of this bag, getting these all clipped on and the inside clipped inside there. So the handles are the size that I cut them are 21 inches. And I'm going to fold this in half, right sides together. Just like that. And I'll pin this just so they'll stay together. Hope I'm in screen here. Okay. So I've already made one because I wanted to move on from this section here, or this part of the video. Okay. So what we're going to do then is I'm going to sew across this this side and then go all the way down and leave this side open so that I can turn it inside out. Okay, so I'll put you on pause for a second and then I'll come right back. Okay, so I have sewed straight down this side and about 1/4 inch in. And these sizes were 3 inches by 21 inches, just to remind myself of that. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this inside out, and I'll show you how I do that. It's very easy. I have these little tubes that I get when I buy these hair tie things, because I use these to, well, I need one right there. I use these to hold my bobbins together. I mean, I've tried every bobbin container and all that, and this just seems to be the best. The little ties do not come off, or I mean, it doesn't come out unwound. And but I have this tube, and I used to use a straw like this to turn my straps inside out, but my straw is getting a little bit warpy and it's not working as good, so I'm going to use this. So at the bottom, that's why you have to close this side, why you have to stitch this side closed, so that this little tube will go all the way to the top and not come out. Okay, so now here's that little tube there, and then I'm just going to take a knitting needle and slide that. Okay, let me show you this again, just in case you have never done this. So you can feel there's the hole, and you just kind of tuck this down inside of that hole, and then you start moving this up. Okay. that working? No, it's not. I didn't get it. I guess it didn't get... Huh. Why is it every time I want to do something on camera? Just did this a minute ago. Okay. Okay, here's my... Oh, I took this out. That's why. That was a dumb thing. So you just leave it on, you know, on your tall knitting needle and keep pushing it up, and be careful not to, if you're going to leave that end stitched, you don't want to break through your fabric. In my case, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to cut this end off. Okay, so now I'm going to press this. I'm going to press this seam to the edge here. Hopefully this guy is, whoops, work. Had trouble with my iron because it got something melted on it. I probably left it on something that... And so I was trying to clean it off, but I can't find my iron cleaner. So I looked online. It said to use baking soda and water, and I did, and it didn't work. So now I have baking soda stuck on the back of it, but at least it's now moving, and nothing's coming off. Okay, so you could poke all that out, but you really don't need to. But you do need to make sure that when you do cut it, that it's going to be the same size as your prior one. So here's this one here, and I can cut it right here at this line. So I don't have to turn it inside out and mess with that. Okay. Okay. I'll just press that a little bit more out. Okay, now I like this handle because you don't have to put any batting or anything like that inside, because you're going to have 4 layers of fabric plus the seams that are inside here, and that will give it a lot of strength. So now I'm just going to take this and I'll just fold these together, so you've got like 3, you know, you can see 3 seams there, the fold and 2 seams, or actually 1 seam. But okay, now on this end you have to decide how much of this you want left open at the end to stuff it into the purse or the market bag. So what I did on that one is I measured 3 inches up. Okay, and that's where I started sewing. So I'm going to put a little mark here just so you can see there. So I'm going to clip this here, and I have that little mark there, okay? Come down this side, and I'm going to measure 3 inches up on this side. And that's where I want to stop. Okay. All right, so those should be the same length as this one. Yeah, you want your handles to be matched. Okay, so I'm going to sew this. Now I'm going to sew it from this mark here, this first, where is it at? There it is. This first mark, and I'm going to backstitch here and sew all the way down to this mark and backstitch a little bit. And we're going to leave these 2 ends open because that's what's going to go inside of the the market bag. So hold on 1 second. I'll try to, I'm not going to turn everything off just to go do this little bit. You're going to sew right along the edge of that. Okay, so now I have 2 of these. Get this off of here. And I don't need the iron anymore. If you ever want to find out what to do with these little ruler things, I have always wanted, always thought that they were for making a hem. You know, you would go around the whole dress and mark it, and bring the hem up. But I'll tell you what, there's a video, I don't know where it is, but you could look it up. I don't even know what these are called. I guess hem markers or something. And this video, there's like 10 different things that this particular thing does, and I had no idea. Like, I think you could put a pin in the end of this. I could, I don't know if I can show you or not, but yeah, see, there's a hole there, and then you can sit that like in the fabric, and you could turn it and make a circle. Anyway, look it up. It's fun. It's so much fun. I didn't remember what the name of the site was. I haven't watched it for a long time. Okay, let me get out of this stuff out of the way. Now, we have to decide how far we're going to put these handles into the bag. And I would say that the 1 inch at least, because you want to make sure that it's tucked in there. Now, what I've done, it seems to me, I marked this flat, not this side where it's open, but this side here. Let's just see, there's 1 inch. Maybe 1.5 inches. Something like that, 1.5 inches. It could be different. Every bag could be different. So 1.5 inches on that side, 1 inch. I think that's 1.5 inches. Okay. This one's 1.5 inches. I think that's 1.5 inches. That's okay. Where'd you go? I guess I don't have a smaller ruler. I just want to check that. 1.5 inches is right there. Okay, so you use the marker 1.5 inches. I'm not sure I used this one correctly. Nope. Okay, so now I think I've changed my mind. I think I'm just going to go 1 inch. I'm sorry. Let's just go an inch. Okay, that one. Okay. The reason I mark those is because when you put it in the bag, you want to, when you put it in, you know, to attach it to the bag, you want to make sure they're all the same size, and because your handles will be off if not. Okay. So then in order to place the handles, I take my, whatever I'm going to put the handles on, the market bag, fold it in half, like so. And then I'm going to come back and fold this in half here. And this is where I'm going to put my handle. And I'm going to insert this inside there at that 1 inch line. Okay. And you have to, you know, make sure you keep it straight when you go to sew. Okay, so then I'm do the same thing here and back to there, and that's where the other end is going to go. Now you want to make sure that nothing is twisted on your handles, and then you've got your mark, your 1 inch mark, or whatever mark you decided to make there. This is, to me, is the easiest way to mark your handles, so you don't have to measure. I don't know how many times I've made handles and one is a little longer, one is a little shorter. Okay, now you can flip it over and you shouldn't have to measure again, but you want your this side to come so that your handles are like that. So if I put this in the same spot, which should be here. I mean, it's a give or take us a little. It's not, it doesn't have to be so precise unless you want it to be, and then you can do that. Okay, we're gonna make sure those handles are going the right way. And that's the inch line there. And just, you know, kind of check and see if it's lined up. Okay, so now you can kind of just lay this here, and you can see that your handles are meeting up with each other pretty much, like this one now. Okay, let's see. See, this one's got a little, I don't think I went down far enough on this one. Let me test this again. And I'm going to go down just a tad on that side again. Okay. So everything's kind of lined up now, I guess. Okay, that's pretty good there. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my machine, and I'm going to sew 1/4 inch along this edge and catch that handle. If you want to, you could go back and forth here, the whole thing, just to make it stronger. And I think it'll look okay if you want to do that. You can back stitch it. I would stitch all the way here, back stitch, and then go forward again. Then you don't have to worry about turning anything inside out, pulling anything out, because it's already in the reversed, it's already lined properly. Okay, so I'm going to sew that and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I have gone around and sewed all this inside here. I did a little bit of pressing, but I kind of got a wrinkle there. So let me just do some measurements so you can see what the size of everything is. I'm going to measure the handles and see what they truly came out to be. They are 18 inches, okay? And then, of course, wide. They're only like a 1/2 inch wide now. Yeah, 1/2 inch, okay? And then the bag is... So now we have the gussets in here, like this. So that's how we're going to tell how wide the bag ended up. And it ended up to be 5 inches. So 2.5, and then sewing across like that's going to be a 5 inch. So you've made your bag 5 inches wide, and then let's see how deep it is. Just have to fold it up like that. And it is 12.5 inches deep. And then the front, sorry if this is in your face, I don't mean it to be. I'm just trying to figure out how I did this. Okay, I would say about that distance there is which is 13 inches, okay? So every bag could be different size. Depends on what your original piece is. That's if you want to take any of your blocks from your Just Because quilt, if you just didn't get through it and you want to keep, you want to use all the work that you've already done. If you haven't thought of something to do, then you could do something like this. So I'm going to put this up on my website for sale, and then I'll continue working on other ones. They're not even completely stitched down yet. I still have stuff to do to decorate it, but it was fun. I enjoyed it so much, and I want to thank Corrine at To Be Loved Treasures, the Just Because quilt turned into Just Because bag. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to call it a market bag. I mean, it'd be great for to take to your quilting camp, put your stuff in. You can also reverse it. I don't know why you would want to, but, and then this one, because it's all hand stitched on the front, and all the other hand stitching, I would not machine wash it. I would just spot clean it, or just get it wet where it's dirty, and just rub away at it to remove any kind of stain you have. That's what I would do. Alrighty, so I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit of series here, and I don't know when I'll be back because I don't have another project at hand, but maybe I'll come up with something and do another video. I'm just not sure right now. So have a great week next week, and go to my other videos if you want to watch some of mine. I've been doing this a year, so there's several videos under slow stitching in my channel if you want to watch some more slow stitching from Rita. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. Bye.